Alright guys and girls, this is Jerningham here. Apparently 1.5 million people have been vaccinated in the UK of the coronavirus. She's talking about Boris Johnson describes the vaccination effort. That's the news lady's talking on here. It's live now. Talks about the US president elections and Joe Biden and strong US capital supports Donald Trump. One of the darkest, whatever that means, supposed to mean. That's Matt Hancock's there as the UK.
The health secretary became aware of a possible vaccine supply issue that could undermine his mass immunisation program.
The good news is that from today, the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine can be delivered by GP practices right across the country. And that means that we'll be able to get more vaccine out to more people more quickly.
This guy's in Parliament a lot.
After announcing his ambitious but vital target, Mr. Hancock was told this same surgery had not received its supply of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine.
The Health Secretary was quite surprised actually to learn that we don't know when all of our deliveries are coming because they're very ad hoc. So he has said that he'll take that back and look into it.
Some doctors across the country have been warning for days of issues with vaccine supplies. The Prime Minister this evening suggesting these were early teething problems.
Of course, in the early phases,
there's our Prime Minister for the UK, Boris Johnson.
And bumpiness in the distribution. And today, it may be that some GPs aren't getting the consignments that they expected.
GP hubs like this one in Surrey are working at full tilt to identify and vaccinate their patients.
I like to help out people while I'm doing the videos. Some people may think it's funny and say there's no point in me doing this, but I want to do it.
Dr. Richard Van Mallarts says his team is ready to jab thousands of
Boris Johnson says for their 2 million vaccinations carried out every day.
We had been
Then Friday as race against the time to beat.
So just over 2,200.
It's about Sir Khan Siemens says there's 5 more than important COVID-19 patient.
Dr. Van Mallarts is waiting
Peak
to
of the first wave. It's going to go through the coronavirus numbers again, as we just done a minute ago.
This is just
They're very high.
a small part of a sprawling university campus which has been handed over.
Drink that Budweiser beer.
They can vaccinate thousands of patients here.
Budweiser beer drinking seat.
But only if they get those vaccines in time. The pressure on the health service has never been greater. GPs are having to plan and administer a mass vaccine rollout at the same time as dealing with soaring COVID-19 infections.
Sky News, Facebook, Twitter, top stories for USA President.
Certainly yesterday was one of our busiest days ever. We were sending in patients into hospital, not just the elderly patients, but the patients without pre-existing conditions. We sent some young patients in, which is definitely a new thing. So we're being overwhelmed. And
Speak USA President.
The government insists there are no supply issues, and 1.5 million people have already been vaccinated. And the NHS, it says, will roll out doses as quickly as possible to inoculate nearly 14 million people by February. It is a race against time, and it's a race we can't afford to lose. Ashish Joshi, Sky News.
From today, 2 new COVID-19 drug treatments are being made available to doctors, which could reduce the risk of death and the amount of time a severely ill patient spends in hospital. Our science correspondent Thomas Moore has the details.
With the death rates now being reported every day, we need some good news, and these two drugs really do deliver it. They're both used to treat rheumatoid arthritis, and they've been repurposed to treat COVID-19. The two drugs are tocilizumab and
Buckinghamshire.
So if you're being treated with these, you'll recognise
What
they do is to reduce inflammation, the inflammation of arthritis, but also COVID-19. The underlying process is the same. The system overdrive and kills some of the cells in the body as well as the infection. That can
More than
cause
1.5 million people across the UK have had the coronavirus vaccine.
Reduce deaths by a quarter, and they also result in patients spending a week less in intensive care. So on both fronts, terrific news for doctors dealing with this second wave at the moment. And you may recall last summer there was another drug, a steroid called dexamethasone, which also reduced death by a third in these extremely sick patients in intensive care.
Some people turned out yesterday evening to clap for the carers and key workers who are keeping the country going during the pandemic. In Scotland's capital city of Piper joined people who braved the cold to join the clap, which brought people together during the first wave of the pandemic. The revived Clap for Heroes has been broadened to celebrate the contribution of all key workers as well as parents homeschooling their children, although fewer people appeared to take part this time round. Coming up on Sky News, the coronavirus crisis continues to bite deep as a significant outbreak forces a Premier League club to close its training ground.
Oh. Well, anyway, guys and girls, hope you all enjoyed that video. Give it a like, give it a comment, share it with your friends, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for joining me. Peace.